Hey guys, my name is Marlyse and this is In the Making. In the Making is a series of conversations with Christian creatives from various industries and different backgrounds where we discuss their career, what they've got going on and how they came about to be where they are right now. So today we have a very special guest. We have a spoken word artist, AJ, who's here to talk about his career and his journey so far. Hey AJ, how are you doing? Would you like to just introduce yourself and tell us how you came about being a spoken word artist exactly?
So hi, my name's AJ, I'm 23. Feeling a bit old. Studied psychology at University of Kent and currently work within the NHS doing some mental health work within schools. So how did I get introduced to spoken word? I guess uni was a big part of that. Surrounded by a lot of creatives, poets, musicians, people like Kelvin, people like Sanya. They really did help and they really did push me. Of course, God is a huge part of that. He really I remember when I first started, obviously, I wasn't really good like that. I had good friends that could encourage me. And obviously, God worked on the gift himself. I guess another big part of it was definitely me listening to music when I was growing up. I'd always pretend freestyle musicians like Drake, Chance the Rapper, I guess Kanye. All these people have definitely helped with spoken word and words in general. I think they've 100% been a big part. And even throwing it back to secondary school, my English lit my English lit teacher always used to say how poetic I was, or you can say articulate now. Some of you guys might know me as, so yeah. I guess that's where the journey started and here I am now.
That is so interesting to hear and such a good journey that you've been on. You've had amazing people to encourage you, which is so key in this creative industry, no matter what kind of subfield you're in. So last time we saw you was at our event, The Reveal, which was prior to the pandemic, which feels like so long ago. Tell us what have you been up to since then, what projects have you got coming up, what have you been working on, and how has the pandemic affected your creativity and your spoken word career really?
Now, thank you for inviting me. That was a really good day, and to be fair, I've really missed days like that since the pandemic. When the pandemic first happened, I was producing quite regularly. I think at the time I was still looking for employment. I'm still just doing my internship, so I wasn't as busy as I would be in a normal life situation. So yeah, it helped me creatively. I was feeding off my inspirations, constantly just writing and producing videos and even content that I can put to the side and stuff like that. So that was great. I guess if you're looking at a graph, I reached the peak and I kind of burnt out a bit. Also just when you're just working and you're not really seeing that much of a change in results. So I guess it affected me a bit negatively at one point. You forget your why, you lose a bit of motivation, even a bit of confidence, you could say. Because with ministering and performing, I think obviously the more you do it, the more you become accustomed to the different skill set, the more you grow, the more you develop. And as much as I love Zoom and Microsoft Teams and everything, in person is where I flourish kind of thing and where I belong. So it's had its ups, it's had its downs. I'm just happy I'm not going to rhyme because I was going to say everything's turning around, but I'm happy things are getting back to normal, so yeah. No,
I completely relate to that. Finding motivation during the lockdown, during the pandemic has just been so difficult. So it's amazing that you feel a bit better now and that things are really starting to turn around and open up again. Hopefully we'll see you at another event or some more events with the S at the end soon. Tell us as well, what are some of the challenges of being a spoken word artist that you faced during your career or that you've learned during the pandemic even, especially as a Christian spoken word artist, would you say?
Some of the struggles of being a Christian poet might be expectations. Of course, God flows within everything I do, but the fact that I'm even possibly called a Christian poet kind of can put you in a box because like sometimes I want to talk about love, sometimes I want to talk about my family, sometimes I want to just talk about life and you know, take him from different experiences and stuff like that. So just having that expectation that everything I would do will have to be so, I don't even want to say serious per se, because there's freedom in faith and there's freedom in being a Christian and everything, but sometimes just that name alone can put you in some sort of box. I think another one, like contrary to like a lot of, you know, like worldly content and stuff maybe not from God and stuff like that, I think creating stuff of substance sometimes, ooh, the list really came out. Creating stuff of substance sometimes can be quite hard. Well, not hard, but it's a bit more challenging, it's a bit more time consuming. Sometimes it flows just like that, sometimes it, you know, takes a bit more time, and being patient, I guess, in a world that requires like fast food content and it's non-stop. Just remaining focused and remaining focused on exactly what God wants you to do, and also the stuff that you're passionate about. I guess those are some of the struggles.
That's very interesting. So you've made quite a few pieces and you've performed live. So I'd like to know, talk us through how you go about creating a piece of spoken word. Talk us through the process, the step-by-step. Do you have like a fixed way of doing things? What's the thought process behind that?
How do I create a piece? I look up to the heavens and no, I'm joking. No. It's a process. Sometimes it's like that. Like I might be on a bus and I don't know, I hear a rhythm, or I might be listening to music and I hear like, this happens a lot with like Chance the Rapper, Common, like lyrical people with Kendrick, J. Cole. They might say a line, I'm like, whoa, that was nice. And then from there, I don't know, something happens in my brain, like how can that relate to me? How can that relate to God? How can that relate to what I'm going through? And I feel like most artists / poets or anyone that's creative will say their notes page is like just that place where I guess they spew out their thoughts, and that's definitely big on me. I definitely work well at nighttime. No distractions, just might be in my room. Again, it can be triggered by an instrumental, it can be triggered by worship, it can be triggered from reading a book. Like there's no rules in making a piece. Just always, and I guess that's the beauty of being a Christian, and just always being in communion and in tune with God, to just know when He's speaking, or like there's times I know when a piece is coming, kind of thing. Like in that exact moment, it's just about how much are you willing to focus, how much are you willing to sacrifice, how long are you willing to wait, kind of thing. So it can happen in worship, it can happen in the shower, it can happen when I want to go to bed, it can happen when I wake up in the morning. Like there's literally no rules.
Oh, that's so interesting. I love that. So basically, in essence, it's about being in tune with the spirit, really. And like you said, like how much are you willing to invest your time, your patience as well, because you're waiting on the spirit. And wherever the Holy Spirit will call you, whether, like you said, it's in the bus or in the shower, you have to be ready to listen. So that is very, very key, and I love that. And finally, what advice would you give to someone who's looking to become a spoken word artist and thinking about it but hasn't really made the move yet? What advice would you give to someone who's just a beginner spoken word artist?
I always find this question funny because like I don't even feel like I'm in a position to give advice like that, but to be fair, I've been doing this for like 3-4 years, and I think the main one I would say is find your style. Like there's so many different poets, spoken word artists, but like there's only one you, kind of thing. Like, so you have your own lane, you have your own flow, you have your own style, and don't be afraid to switch that up either. Don't be afraid to like explore and use your imagination and creativity. Just because you haven't seen it before doesn't mean it's not right, kind of thing. There are no rules to this. Like I remember when I first started, like obviously I wasn't good at it, but like the poetry was like actual poetry. There was no real rhythm to it. Like punchlines might be there, different flows might be there, but now it's like sometimes I might have like a backing track, I might have some music in the background, I might rap, I might just flow, I might sing. Whoa. See, God didn't even want me to say sing, but yeah. Nah, like there's no rules to it. Be free, express yourself, and practice practice. I'm big on like knowing your words, because your words are again a reflection of you, a reflection of your heart and things. So practice and be, this is gonna sound so hippie, but like be at one with the words and enjoy it. Never see it as a chore. Now the advice is really flowing. Never see it as a chore. Like God has given you this gift, and it's really important to encourage and see how it can serve others. And of course, put God first. I should have said that first. But hey, we made it.
That was some really good advice. Thank you so much for sitting with me, AJ. I had an amazing time. Thank you so much for sitting down with me and having a discussion about your career. It's been really, really inspiring and interesting to hear about. So yeah, take care.
Yeah, thank you again, Masterpiece, for having me. I've really enjoyed myself, and I hope we can do something like this soon, whether we collaborate again in the flesh or over Zoom / Microsoft Teams. But I really enjoyed myself, man. God bless. This is funny because in my advice, I think I said, oh yeah, know the words and be at one with the piece. Yeah, I'm gonna be reading off a screen, but yeah. I call this uni was my lake for now. Uni was my lake, now adulting is my sea. Swimming through the waves, God's my goggles helps me see. I thought the tide would turn when I turned up the degree, but I felt the climate change, unemployment in the streets is so cold. Balancing my passions and my purpose. I had to keep it civil, mummy told me during the service. I guess that she was nervous or praying for the best, but how can I write answers to another person's test or tie the laces for somebody else's shoes? When you don't get the point, it can be so hard to prove. Prove myself to who, are you content within yourself? The wages of the wealth or the pain of mental health is the balance, the in-between. My footsteps guided by my faith, you can walk with me. Better yet, talk to me. Power in the conversation helps to change the narrative. Reaching for the top, my legacy cannot be average. Yeah, that's a vibe. That's a vibe when I'm... No, let me stop.